then PMAC and hierarchy. And then last 5 minutes, I think I should help all of you, clarifying all your doubts about the enrollment. So I will reserve 5 minutes for that. Somebody can remind me on that. Right. So what is DMAC? Why it is considered a breakthrough strategy? Why do I say it is superior? It is superior because if you execute all the 5 phases the way it is to be or the way it is designed, results are for sure. 100% you are going to solve the problem. If you execute any one of the phase wrongly, failure is going to be for sure. That is why I boldly said DMAC is superior methodology. You just cannot compare this with any other approach, right? But when to use Six Sigma, that is important. Your problem should be a Y variable problem. The solution should be unknown. Root causes should be unknown. Then Six Sigma and DMAC is the option. What is that you are supposed to do in define? The problem is considered to be defined. If you make the problem measurable, you should be able to express the problem using some numbers. If you can express the problem using some numbers, problem is defined, right? Can I do a small activity here? Imagine, just an imagination. Imagine you are taking a child to a hospital. You're taking a child to a hospital for some, let's say, vaccination. And when the injection is given, the child is crying a lot. The child is crying a lot. And now the customer is the child on whom the injection is given. Child is crying, your customer is crying. And now you need to understand the problem here. You need to define the problem here. What is the problem here? All of you can try now. I am going to help you. Now tell me, is that clear to all of you? Is my question clear? Am I audible? Or you don't want me to ask you a question?
No, yes, you're clear, doctor.
Please make a try. The child is crying and you are the professional there. Imagine you are the healthcare professional. You are given the task to see to that the child doesn't cry when an injection is given. Now this is the project. Now tell me, what is the defined here, or what is your understanding about the problem? Please make a try, and nothing wrong. We have to make mistakes to learn. Yes.
Child has some pain.
Yeah, child has the pain. All right. And now you need to solve the pain. And now what is your understanding? Now tell me, or no, if you really want the child not to cry, then what will you do?
So the first thing is the scope, that only child we have to think about, not about his mother and all the situations regarding.
Correct.
Then we have to define what are the various methods or how mother treats the child.
Yes.
Like giving some instrument in the hands, toys.
You want to give some toys to the kid?
Yes. That's
okay.
What the child likes.
What the child likes? Maybe some sweets. Chocolate. Very good. Chocolate. And somebody want to sing a song?
That's what the methodology will be.
Some rhymes. Sometimes
lullabies required.
Yeah, sometimes kid likes rhymes and songs. Somebody may dance.
This all constraints can be taken into the methodology, which is distraction of mindset of child.
Thank you all of you for sharing. I wanted to. And now I am asking another question. Are you trying to solve the problem, or you are trying to invite new problems?
All the problems.
If you make your child to play when an vaccination is given with a toy, are you really trying to solve the problem, or you are inviting a new problem?
Inviting a new problem.
This is why projects fail. Please understand. This is why project fails. So what is that we are supposed to do? We need to understand the real reason why the child is crying. The child is not crying for your song. He's not crying. The child is not crying for your dance. In fact, if you dance, she will cry more. Am I right? So what is important is you need to identify the pain metric here. Here the pain is caused by the needle. Nobody talked about the needle. As a professional, we need to know, identify the pain metric so that we can attack it. The needle is bigger. The needle diameter is the killer here, isn't it? The needle diameter causes the pain. Am I correct or not?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, doctor.
If you can do something to reduce the size of the needle, then the problem can be solved. So the child is really crying because the needle size, the needle diameter is bigger for her. She's crying. This is called voice of customer, and this is called the voice of customer converted into pain metric called CTQ. Now, what is the pain metric? The needle diameter. CTQ, we call it CTQ, critical to quality characteristics. And now another problem comes. You understood when you reduce the needle size, when you also reduce the contact time the needle has with the muscle of the child, the contact time you reduce, needle size you reduce. Now the child need not cry. Am I right? The problem is getting addressed. And now another problem comes here. If you keep on reduce the needle size, then you have to drill a hole inside. Am I right? In the needle contains a small hole inside the small needle. Then what will be the size of the inner hole? This is called voice of business. Now it's a business problem. The customer problem has now led to a business problem. And now you should find a way to drill a small hole inside the small needle. At the same time, within that small hole, the medicine has to flow seamlessly without any interruption and should enter the child hand or muscle. And now there is voice of customer understood, there is voice of business understood. You have to balance it properly. Make sure you make the inner hole as small as possible so that the outer hole can be as small as possible. Isn't it? And this is called balancing the voice of customer and voice of business. If you can effectively balance the voice of customer and voice of business, that is called optimal quality. That is called acceptable quality level. This is what all of you are going to learn in the define phase. Every problem, the pain metric will be identified. The first step in a Six Sigma project is identification of CTQs and identification of CTBs. If you cannot identify CTQs and CTBs, I'm 100% sure you are not going to solve the problem. Hope all of you will agree with me. Very, very important. Any problem, identify the CTQ, identify the CTB. Problem is defined. So if you can make the problem measurable, the define is over. Now go to the measure. Now the needle size has to be measured. The needle size, now tell me, will you measure using a vernier caliper, or will you measure using a dial gauge, or will you use something else, or you want to go for a CMM? Which is best? According to the requirement. Now you are working at a very a smaller dimension. Now which is the best fit? Now can you commit an error? See, when you are measuring 100 mm, then error of 0.1 mm is 1 mm is okay. Now the needle size itself is 0.5 and the inner hole is 0.25. Now what can be the error you can commit here in measuring it? Only 10% of it can be error, isn't it? So I will talk deeper about the the percentage. 10% of the working zone, we call it working zone. Let's say the needle size is 0.5. And you can now tell me what could be the tolerance for a 0.5 mm.
0.05.
0.5 plus or minus 0.05. And 0.05 right side, 0.05 left side. And total is 0.1. Now tell me what is 10% of 0.1? 0.01.
0.1.
Only that much error.
0.01.
Only that much error is allowed. Now, do you have a way to measure the measurement error you may commit while collecting the data? That is very important. You need to do that. This is called measurement system validation. Only when you can assure the error is 10%, your measurement system is considered to be capable. Otherwise, not. Otherwise, you may report a result, but reality will be different. This is another killer. This is another big reason why projects are failing. Problem can be solved, but they don't know how to measure. If you can't even measure, how can you solve? That's my question. And now third, analyzing for the root cause. Problem is understood, measurement is also correct, but still, for same problem, many a times we refer to, people who have similar problem. If the doctor experienced to work in the same manner when you are going to him, you are going for a stomach pain, maybe a problem with something related to kidney, and doctor is telling you, I had a same kidney problem last month. Your diagnosis report and his diagnosis report are almost same. Why don't you take the same medicine? The prescription, old prescription is given to you. How many of you will like the treatment? None of you.
None.
Problem is same. Diagnosis report also same. Then also you are very clever. Same treatment may not work. You need to understand this in your business also. Your factory and your friend back factory may be same. Both of you are running the press shop. Both of you are running the casting industry. Almost same situation, but the root cause can be different at both ends. It is very important you identify the root cause, then only you must talk about the solution. If you jump to the next step without doing the analysis, you can be wrong very easily. Don't go to the prescription without analyzing the root cause. Tools like YY analysis, tools like cause and effect analysis, tools like Pareto will help you to rule out the critical factor, rule out the root cause. And not only identification is enough, you have to prove. Then only nobody is going to believe you in your company, because they are seeing the problem for several years. You have done research only for 3 months. They are not going to believe you. How will you gain the consensus? How will you get the support of your boss? Some statistical procedure is there that is called hypothesis testing. Sometimes Z test you need to do. Sometimes T test you need to do. Sometimes it is proportion test. Sometimes it is chi-square. Sometimes it is ANOVA. I'm not threatening you with the names, but these are essential. All these, all of you can master. Even if you do not know anything in maths, you do not know anything in statistics, I am going to make all of you learn it to the level that you can practice it. It's not just, you read it and forget. No more such games. You learn it and then implement it. Root cause identification, root cause validation, that is called analysis. If the root cause is identified, also proved, now anybody can give the solution. What do you mean by solution? Giving a prescription. What is there in the prescription? Paracetamol 500 milligram, paracetamol 750 milligram, paracetamol 1000 milligram. Same way you are going to give the prescription. Critical factor is X4. X4 is temperature. Temperature 500 degrees Celsius. Temperature 750 degrees Celsius. A factor set at a particular value is called treatment in the medical world. Same word is used in statistics also. A factor set at a particular level is called the solution. Simple is the treatment is called the solution. But for you to set the value, whether temperature should be 500 or temperature should be 750 or temperature should be 1000, how do you take the decision? You need to know the relationship of your critical factor with the Y variable which you want to improve. Definitely little bit of maths is needed. I will adequately prove tomorrow with some simple video clips. I will make you understand. See, statistics is used in cricket, used in sports. Statistics used everywhere. Why don't you use statistics to solve your business problem? That is my question. If you don't want to use statistics and solve the problem, you can solve only simple problem. Take it granted from me. Only simple problem you can solve. Simple in the sense, problems related to X variable you can solve without statistics. That means problems with the solutions known you can solve. But there are several problems where solutions are not known. For that, without statistics, you cannot find out the solution. Now, solution is implemented, treatment is given. Now, the doctor will give you a lot of advice. Don't take spicy food. Eat fresh fruits. Don't take what you call the junk food and fast food. Take fresh fruits. Drink a lot of water. Have a healthy walk. Doctor wants you to remain healthier for a longer time. Same way, whatever result you have improved, you should make your organization sustain the result for a longer period of time. Now you have understood the critical factor. Why don't you share the knowledge with others? The critical factor needs to be monitored in a control chart, and always the critical factor should be in the prescribed level according to your prescription. If you can control the critical factor within the desired range, how can your Y go down further? What is that knowledge you gained? Can you equip your people properly with some control measure? You call it control plan. How to plot? What needs to be plotted in a control chart? The critical factor needs to be plotted in a control chart. What is the desired range? Temperature should be always between 720 and 750 degrees Celsius. That's all. As long as the temperature is between 720 and 750, your boiler is going to produce the best output. No worries about the output. Monitor the temperature because it is critical. That's all. See to that it remains within the desired range. Y will remain. This is called control. That is why I told you 6 DMAC is a superior methodology. Now tell me, can you skip any one of the 5 phases while solving a problem? Anybody want to skip anything here?
No.
No.
That means all 5 steps are important, essential, all are must be. If you remove that, you will lose the chance to succeed in your project. That is why I said the superior methodology, learn it. All other methodology will definitely have some gap here and there. Here, there is no gap. We are zooming into the problem. We are seeing the problem in a detailed way, like seeing, through microscope. CTQ identification, like the needle size is the problem. Earlier, we never thought needle size is the reason why child is crying. Child doesn't know about the size of the needle, but you should know, right? And this is DMAC. And my training is going to be taking you through the 5 phases one by one. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. I will make sure it is a cakewalk for all of you. Every phase I have divided into 3 simple steps. Do the steps one by one. Finish the 3 steps, define is over. Why the 3 steps are important? What are the tools and techniques by which you can execute the steps very, very effectively? And what are the deliverables out of every step? If you know that, you can run projects beautifully and produce results, and you can grow in your career. Your investment can come back within no time. You are going to be seen as a leader. You can train everyone in your company. Your company will be blessed to have a person like you, right? And so 3 steps every phase, 3 into 5 phases, 15 simple steps. If you learn 15 simple steps, you can systematically eliminate the defects and the deadly waste from your organization, right? And I'm not going to go through all the steps, which I will be going into a deeper level in the main training program. You will be equipped fully. The body of knowledge will be covered fully, and we will support you even post-training. And now, talking about the belt level, you should know so that you can opt your choice, what kind of belt level you want to acquire. White belt is basic understanding. That will happen for sure tomorrow. Tomorrow, you will gain the absolute clarity exactly by this time, 9 o'clock. You will become a supporter of Six Sigma, a believer of Six Sigma. Then you are a white belt. See to that your top management becomes at least a white belt. Otherwise, talking to them will be very difficult, and then you really cannot convey anything properly. And yellow belt next level, but there are a lot of limitation. You can only assist the people in the project, assist the green belt. But for you to work on your own, for example, some of you might be plotting a control chart right now without knowing what it is. You might be using a Pareto, or you may be depending on a software. You put some data in software, it gives you Pareto, and you use it. But what is Pareto? How it works, right? And so you have to equip yourself. That means you can come to the next level, which is called green belt. Now you can be an effective team member in the project. You can lead green belt projects. You can guide your team members. That means you are going to be seen as a leader in the organization. You will be able to guide others properly. You will know all the 15 steps, all the tools and techniques that are required to perform each and every step, and so deliverables are for sure. But there is a limitation in Greenbelt. You cannot solve complex project. What do I mean by complex project? Number of X variables are high. Some of the X variables are invisible, like how this corona is invisible, the entire world is struggling. If the factors are invisible, you will be struggling. But a black belt will find a way to deal with the invisible factors also. What is happening inside the combustion chamber? What is happening inside your boiler? What is happening inside your heat treatment chamber? There are many situations where factors are invisible. Design of experiments, beautiful tool that can throw light in dark, right? And a black belt can lead complex projects, cross-functional project. Multiple departments are involved. Multiple departments are involved in the problem. Still, you can handle. You will be able to mentor the other green belts project team members, remove their roadblocks, guide them. All these things you will be able to do. And master black belt, he will be a kind of person working closely with the top management. He is actually the one who will develop the KPIs and metrics for the company. How the company should progress, it is decided by master black belt. Imagine your position and your compensation, right? And you will be definitely way beyond imagination. Your capabilities will be, right? And you can train and coach other black belts and green belts in the company. You can set up the KPIs and the metrics for every department and for the entire organization. Of course, the top level management, who are the sponsors and the champion. Sponsor is someone who is actually approving your project. Champion is a person who is reporting to the sponsor and who will also see to that the project team gets the resources on time. Any roadblock, administrative wise, any stuck up, he will see to that the roadblocks are removed. And so team will progress, produce results as per the milestones declared in the defined phase. And now these are the modules, and yellow belt is expected to know, and all of you can make a double jump. Definitely, you can go to the green belt without any hesitation. All the modules, according to the ASQ's body of knowledge, will be covered. In fact, we will equip you beyond. Definitely, there will be a delight, right? Take it granted, there will be a delight, and you are going to be on the top 10% of the green belts in the entire world without any doubt. And if you want to do a double jump, please do that. Nothing wrong. You will be fully equipped, right? Tools like quality function deployment, PPPPK. There are many confusion. What is CPCPK and what is PPPPK? When to use CPCPK and when to use PPPPK? Everything would get clarified. Tools like ANOVA, tools like MANOVA, multivariate analysis, design of experiments, regression to a greater depth. All that will be taught, and you will be fully equipped, and you can handle any kind of projects in any kind of organization, and you can be highly paid. Your investment in terms of money is nothing in front of the benefit you are going to get. In my opinion, your investment is your willingness to join the program. In my opinion, your investment is the time you are going to put in, the effort you are going to put in during learning from me. Then definitely I will consider you as a wealthy person, not the one who is having the money, but the one who really have the passion, really have the interest, really have the ability to help himself. He is considered wealthy, and you can consider joining the program. All right. And now what is that? We understood DMAC is a 5-phase methodology called the problem solving methodology. It contains 15 steps. And then DMAC should be used when the problem is a Y variable problem, not the X variable. Use the other method. You don't no need to bring it to the Six Sigma. See to that the problem is recurring. The root causes, solutions are unknown. White belt is basic understanding. Yellow belt, you can assist the people project team. Green belt, you can lead projects, but limitation, complexity should be less. But any level of complexity, a black belt can easily handle. And you can handle cross-functional project. Master black belt will develop the metrics, mentor the other black belts and the green belts in the organization. Champion is the person who allocates the resources. Sponsor is the person who approves your project in the defined phase and gives permission to use all the resources. And that completes my technical part.